Hi dear Thriver, welcome to Thriver TV. Today I want to talk to you about the Benevolent Narcissist, also known as the Altruistic Narcissist, because they can be really hard to pick and they're extremely confusing to be in any kind of relationship with, such as an intimate relationship, or if they're a family member, or if it's somebody connected to you in any way. Yet a narcissist is a narcissist. And no matter how lovely a narcissist can be, they're still a narcissist and incredibly abusive to be around. And of course, in many ways, it can be even more devastating when you're hanging on to a narcissist because you were really justifying they can be so wonderful to you and others, maybe even most of the time. Okay, so before we get going, I'd like to remind you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you find my videos useful, please share them with other people that they can help. Okay, so the benevolent altruistic narcissist is not your typical narcissist. Many people, including myself, took a long time to work out what was going on with this narcissist. If you've had more typical narcissistic encounters, you know that the narcissist, once the honeymoon period is over and all the cracks appear, they don't tend to put themselves out for other people unless there's a definite agenda or payoff. And when things start really breaking down in your relationship with this person, they don't tend to hide their narcissism as much. You discover that they're really entitled, cruel, calculating, and nasty, and that's the majority of the time. And there's less and less smatterings of their being nice. Yet, the benevolent narcissist is often giving and caring. And even when you've had horrific episodes with this person, if you get through them, you find that they come back to being caring and seeming to love you, and they grant you attention and time and effort. They're very generous with those things. But when they turn on you, it's just as devastating as any narcissist. So is it any wonder that you're thinking, how can this person be a narcissist? Surely the things like entitlement and superiority wouldn't allow this person to go over and beyond with their generosity and the way they are with people and being so giving to causes and institutions, and of course the way that they treat me so beautifully. Yet this person is narcissistic, absolutely. And how you can know this is by the understanding of what I humbly believe the true definition of narcissism is. The true definition. I believe it's unconsciousness, meaning I'm not going to take responsibility for my behavior. It's always somebody else's fault. And I'm not going to turn within, and I'm not going to do the inner work on my traumatized parts to heal them. I'm not going to take responsibility and do something about myself in order to change my beliefs, my behavior, and therefore my life. Somebody else's fault always. Narcissists, when triggered into narcissistic injury, which really just means when things don't go the way they need them to be in order to maintain their version of self, they go into a narcissistic trigger, a narcissistic injury, which really usually is a narcissistic rage. It can be cold, it can be hot, but what it means is they're either going to stonewall and abandon really cruelly, or they lash out. And benevolent narcissists, those who appear to be altruistic people, they are no different in the time of a narcissistic trigger. And at these times, you really can't tell the difference between them and any other variety of narcissist. But the difference really is in how this narcissist behaves in order to get narcissistic supply. So we need to look at how does the benevolent narcissist manipulate to get people's life force and energy and stuff. This narcissist knows how to give to get. So a really simple example of this would be like a narcissistic parent who overgives and then could say to their child, look at what I do for you, to hold them to something with guilt. Because this is controlling. It's a way, by giving and giving, by the altruistic narcissist, it's a way to win allegiance, loyalty, and servitude from people and be able to call on them, making them feel obligated to supply favors, sex, money, energy, and attention. It's also a very powerful method to keep people bonded to the narcissist. So that ensures that they're not going to leave and they'll cling and get dependent on all the wonderful things that the narcissist supplies. Things like regular declarations of love, oodles of compliments, words of approval, financial security. This type of narcissist commonly banks on people becoming dependent on them so that the narcissist can get out of the deal what they want, absolutely. But also too, that when this narcissistic personality explodes, this person's going to hang around and they can't let go, believing that there's hope for this person to stop the terrible behavior and justifying to themselves that these explosions aren't all the time. Plus also the narcissist is going to say, but look at all the amazing things I do for you and how good I am to you, which will really minimize those highly abusive times. And also other people usually believe that this person is such a good soul because they see and they hear you gushing about all the amazing things this person does for you. And they think, well, this person cares, they give, they have so many good traits. It must have just been a moment. And it isn't until they start to know this person up close and personal that they see a different reality. I really can't tell you how many people in this community started off having a more typical type narcissist and then thought that they had avoided narcissists in their future. I don't have narcissistic bosses anymore. I don't do lovers that are narcissistic anymore. And then they experience an altruistic narcissist, whether it be like a boss or a neighbor or a friendship or an intimate partner relationship, and they get really confused about working out what is really going on with this. But this is where I want to help you get clarity. Abuse is abuse. And as thrivers, it is so important to know that your power, your truth, and your life is to do with your choices. We go wrong when we try to make it about trying to work out others as to why they behave the way they do. And when we're doing that, and you're with somebody like an altruistic narcissist, you're walking on broken glass. And you're enduring people who are abusing you in these moments. Regardless of how infrequent it may happen, abuse is abuse. And let's look at what all narcissistic abuse looks like. It's nasty. It's personal. It's low blows. It's attacking. And it's a total projection onto you because the narcissist has heard you say something or experienced you doing something that truly any rational adult would not get bent out of shape about. So let me give you some examples. Maybe you ask for something or you make a comment, just a comment, or look at them a certain way, or sigh, or have some disappointment in your voice or something. And the narcissist takes umbrage in a way that shocks you. The reaction is way out of proportion. And if you try to help the narcissist by making some constructive suggestions, they turn on you and they accuse you of all sorts of things, and you feel attacked, confused, shocked, devalued, and discarded. And of course, all narcissists swing into full narcissistic flight when you're trying to hold them accountable for their shocking narcissistic behavior. So you've spoken up because of these ridiculous reactions, and then they just double down and attack you harder. Narcissists are also amoral. They don't care about lying and doing the wrong thing. They really don't. They never feel bad about doing immoral things. They feel bad about getting caught out about it. So they don't feel bad about lying, cheating, and stealing. They really don't. This particular narcissist just cloaks it by pretending to be a model citizen who's honest, moral, and practices monogamy. Yet the truth is, like all narcissists, they're simply telling you whatever you need to hear in order to cover their tracks and continue living their lives as narcissists. Many people have discovered with this type of narcissist, despite them telling you how much they adore you and they're devoted to you, that they're having affairs or are sex addicts. And I'm not kidding. It's really common with the altruistic narcissist. And here is one of the altruistic narcissist's favorite weapons, using obligation and guilt to get you to keep handing over more of your resources to them, telling you how much they've done for you and how you owe them. This narcissist knows that you're a good person. They know that you feel guilty and obligated, and they know that you can manipulate you with this to keep exploiting you and emptying you out. Please know this: one moment of abuse without consciousness, without responsibility, without remorse, without atonement, without true reconciliation is one too many. And what I mean is this is abuse without course correct and without an appropriate up level. So let's say that this narcissist lashes out at you. They don't apologize. They don't take responsibility appropriately. You have to fight tooth and nail to try to get an apology. Or you have to leave for an amount of time before they are willing to put your feelings, your person, your soul before the defenses of their ego, which firmly holds on to, I'm above reproach. How dare you tell me that I am somehow wrong? They only apologize after you leave, after far too long. And here's what's very important. The apology isn't genuine. And you know that because you give it a little poke with a stick and it'll unravel, and they'll start doing tit for tat and blaming you and saying, well, what about you and what you do wrong? And there'll be, but, I'm sorry, but, or I said, I'm sorry, what more do you want? That's not a sorry. The apology doesn't hold, and because they were never genuinely remorseful, they never genuinely wanted to change their behavior or themselves, they genuinely never cared about you, no matter what comes out of their mouth. The apology is never going to hold, and the narcissist will always reoffend, always, with the same behavior. Or maybe this person just tries to make things up to you by just attempting to sweep what they did under the rug with no acknowledgement of it. And they're not even going to talk about it. And as far as they are concerned within their own skewed thinking, any wrongdoing was on your part, and they are the bigger person for just reconnecting. You may have gone through that with a narcissist in the past, where there's been a moment where they've been horrific. You separate, they get in contact and they say, look, you know, I'm prepared to forgive you. And you're like, what did I do? That's how ridiculous narcissism is. So even though It may not be often that the altruistic narcissist blows. Like all narcissistic toxic cycles with these people, absolutely, the abusive events will become more and more and more, and significantly and explosively more dramatic. And yes, then they may pick you up and love you and put you back together and, you know, even run around after you and do all these amazing things for you and run you a bath and rub your back and put you to bed because they've broken you so much, but they're going to keep breaking you. And you feel like you're breaking. You're losing your mind and even your soul at the shock of how this seemingly beautiful, kind, generous person in these moments has inner demons that are viciously unleashed on you. Already, you've started to change to try to survive. You can't be honest around this person. You can't have boundaries, and you can't deny them what they want from you. Otherwise, you're going to experience their wrath. Your life force and possibly so much more is being sucked out of you, and you are always wondering when the next episode is going to happen. So how do you survive and then thrive after a benevolent narcissist? Firstly, it starts by being very clear about what are your values and your truths. And it means that you start to be clear that you've got to be prepared to let go of somebody who is abusing you, because they're not going to change. To make space for real relationships, which are healthy. But we have to get healthy enough to honor ourselves and choose your soul. It is much better to lose somebody else than to lose your soul. So this means no longer participating with people who don't have the capacity to be safe and healthy. Somebody who is unconscious, which this person is, this is the bottom line. Somebody who's unconscious, which means they're not taking responsibility for their behavior and they attack others mercilessly, is always going to reoffend. Narcissists don't turn inwards to heal their inner selves or their fractured beliefs, which are causing them to behave in ways that treat other people like dirt. This person is not a flesh and blood autonomous human being to them. Rather, you're a tool, you're a prop, and when you're not feeding the true master, the false self, adequately, when the narcissist can't mine and exploit you and suck your energy and your stuff to maintain their false self, then they will line you up and punish you, like all narcissists. Altruistic narcissists are just very good at hiding this behind their good deeds. And that's the truth. This benevolent narcissist is a narcissist. The healing from benevolent narcissists is identical to every other narcissist, because this is about you taking back your power, life, soul, and sanity. This is about healing your inner being up to wholeness. And NARP, the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Program, which is my flagship program, grants you that formulated path. 10 specific quantum freedom healing modules that are going to free you from all the susceptibilities and hooks that keep you ensnared by narcissists, so that you claim your soul, your mind, and your life emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually back. So to find out more about NARP, you can go to the link on this video, and it's also in the show notes. So I hope that this has given you greater clarity about the benevolent narcissist, because a lot of you go through life with benevolent narcissists, what they're about, how you know they're a narcissist, and also too that there is hope for you to get out of this, to get into real, authentic, loving, caring relationships. Not perfect, because all relationships take work, but that can up-level and grow together and be real and be healthy, because this relationship never can be. So I hope this helps. Until the next one, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.